Welcome, gentle people, to this, the fairest rotgut review. Sit a while, and let I, Edward, regale you with the tale of a midwinter's night dram. Act 8, Scene 2. No, that one doesn't matter quite as much. All right, it's me, it's Ed, it's the Rotgut Review, and Erica's not here. Why isn't Erica here? She hates rye. Absolutely despises rye. And so she decided to sit this one out. I mean, she's wrong, of course. Rye is amazing. Rye is the greatest whiskey ever created in the history of mankind. But, whatever, to each their own. It's kind of unfortunate, though. This might actually be a rye she might have liked. This is Midwinter's Night Dram from High West. This is Act 8, the 8th edition. Now, this is Scene 2. That doesn't matter quite as much because that's just the bottling. But more importantly, Act 8. This is this year's act. So every year they release a new edition of this. This is their Rendezvous Rye, finished in French oak port barrels. This has been a hot ticket item this year. I'm telling you what. I work at a liquor store, for those of you who don't know, and people have been calling in about this one nonstop for like a month and a half. I mean, previous editions were on people's radar, for sure. But for whatever reason, this year has been the year that people wanted to get a hold of this. In fact, the wait list was so long, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get one from our store. They make me wait till everybody else gets theirs before I have a chance to buy it, because I'm an employee. That's only fair. But could you imagine having to actually go out and hunt for whiskey? Like, you couldn't just buy it from the place you worked? What a nightmare. Anyway, let's take a peek at this one. Now, I also have Act 7 here. Still have some of that left. Been slowly working through that. So we're going to compare the two as well. But let's get a quick look at this. Oh, this smells so good. It's so cinnamony. Cinnamon and cloves and a little green tea. Oh, it smells so good. The whole room just smells like rye right now. It's so good. So good, you guys. Now, Rendezvous Rye is a mixture of MGP, 95% rye, and High West's own 80% rye blended together. So, a lot of rye spice there. I'm not getting like any anise or dill on the nose. Maybe a touch of the dilly, but not really. This is leaning more baking spices, cinnamon, allspice. I'm getting figs, a lot of figs, a little bit of plum, a little bit of like a kind of some red fruit, maybe like a pomegranate-y thing. I'm guessing that's from the port casks. So let's get a taste. Let's see how that's doing. I gotta say, this is a really, really good whiskey this year. The port and the rye are in great balance. I prefer that the rye be a little bit stronger than the port. That's my personal preference. I like a big, spicy rye. I want the port to be there just to make it festive, just make it a little happy, just ee. However, you gotta have some port. It can't just be all drowned out. You want to have a little bit of port there to make it interesting, make it a little bit different. This is doing a really good job of that. It's dry enough and spicy enough, cloves and pepper and cinnamon, while also having the red fruitiness. There's some red fruit there, a little bit of that kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say, the pomegranate thing I think is kind of what I'm getting mostly right now. Yeah, pomegranate and like a dark raspberry. Maybe a little bit of like cherry pie too. Yeah, a little cherry pie in there, but just not a super sweet cherry, just a dark cherry. And there's some vanilla too. There's some vanilla, maybe a little bit of caramel from the new charred oak that they aged it in before they finished it in the port. It's all coming together nicely, man. This is like mixed red fruit pie, but like spicy. They put cloves on top of it. I'm digging it. All right, let's have a little comparison to Act 7. As long as we got it right here. Now, I've talked to some folks, and they say they didn't like Act 7 all that much compared to other releases of this. You know, I don't know. I really liked it. Again, I prefer a dry rye. I like it when it leans into that rye-iness rather than gets overwhelmed with the port. So maybe I just liked it because it was a little drier, a little more spicy. And if you like that really heavy port finish, maybe it's not for you. I don't know. Let's see how it compares to 8 here. I will say 8 is a bit more voluptuous on the nose right here. 8 I was going to say it's more porty, but I don't actually think that's it. I think it has more port and more rye flavor to it. Like you get that fig, you get that clove, you get that black pepper. It's big and it's beautiful and it's bountiful. I love it. The 7, I gotta say, not quite as much. It doesn't have all that big flavor. 7's a little bit more demure. Maybe leaning into those kind of dry rye notes a little bit more. A little heavier on the black pepper. A little bit more sawdusty. Yeah, kind of a dry grain kind of thing going on. And this one actually, the 7 actually smells a little bit more dilly than the 8. The 8 is a little bit more fruity, figgy, raspberry, plummy almost. But the 8 also has this really fun kind of vegetal tea and eucalyptus almost. Maybe a touch of eucalyptus there, along with that fruitiness. You know, on the taste, I think these both are pretty similar. The backbone is really, it's the same here. Some charred wood, a little bit of vanilla, quite a bit of pepper, quite a bit of that cloviness. I do think maybe there's more of a brown sugary, fruity kind of thing on the 8, maybe a touch. But on the other hand, I do think there's more of that clove, more of that spice on the 7. But less so than there was on the nose. I think these are more different on the nose than they are on the taste. So on the nose though, I think the 8 wins. The 8's winning, no problem. That is just so beautiful and big and lovely. But I also still really like the 7. I do really like the 7. It is that really peppery rye, punchy rye that I like. Either way though, I like both of these. I think I might go with the 8. I think the 8 has a little bit more interesting stuff going on just on the nose. However, I don't think you can go wrong either way. Although, then again, if you're someone who really wanted just a big port over the top, red fruit and rancio and that kind of musty note and all that different stuff coming out of the port cask, yeah, I could see maybe you're not going to like this quite as much as previous releases. I do think there were some other releases that leaned into the port a little bit more. Maybe this one's a little bit more rye forward. But man, that's perfect for me. That's exactly what I was looking for. So, yeah, High West, keep doing what you're doing. I like the direction you're going with these releases, man. I'm going to keep buying them. So, whatever you do, keep doing it. But until next time, this has been Ed. Erica will be back for our next review, I promise, because we're not doing rye. But until next time, make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay rotten.